A lumberjack went into a magical forest to cut a tree. Upon arriving and starting to cut down a tree, the tree shouted, "Wait, wait, wait, wait! I'm a magic tree!" The lumberjack just grinned and said, "You will die a log." Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip, the Meeple on duty, and today we're going to compare and contrast three different games that have nothing in common besides theme and box size. That's it. And the reason I decided to do this is when I got Microcosmos just last year, there's the unboxing I did of the video. It was really good, and then I realized, man, there's a few of these that are very small box games with the sci-fi theme attached to them. And I thought, you know what? These all have kind of similar vibes, but what you're doing in them is very different. This is not a review of the games per se. I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of describe what's going on in the games, but I'm throwing them out there because these boxes don't take up a lot of space, and do you really need three space-themed games on your shelf that are all small box? Fun part about small box games like this is they take up less shelf space, so you can get more games on your shelf. They typically have a really great table presence. These aren't macro games where it's only like 18 cards or anything like that. These are just small box games, and they take up most of the table when you get them fully set up. And they can also travel well. Like, small boxes just travel better than ginormous boxes ever can. And so let's go ahead and just take a quick look at what we got going on here. First one we're going to look at today, let's just pull that aside, is Tiny Epic Galaxies by Scott Almes, published by Gamelin Games. Now, this one was made in 2015. It is 1 to 5 players. It has an expansion that I've never played with, but we have it. We haven't got there. It is primarily dice resolution, resource management. Each player is going to get a home galaxy. Hopefully I'm going to have that overlaid right on top of me. On this, you have your home galaxy. You have your energy and your culture levels, which are your primary or your two resource types that you're going to have. And those are what you either gain extra rerolls with, or you can follow people during dice roll in dice selection phases if it's not your turn. The other side controls your empire level, which the higher that goes, you get more dice, you get more cards, and you get, or not more cards, more ships, and more victory points at the end of the game. Then you got a deck of planet cards in the middle. You're going to flip a card for each player +2. There's two ways you interact with these. When you move a ship, when you activate that, you are going to either land on the planet itself, or you're going to go in orbit around it trying to colonize it. When you land on the planet itself, you get to use its special ability that one time. You can't just sit on a planet and keep reusing that. You have to move before you can use another one. The turn order is when it's your turn, you get the dice, you're going to roll them. There are 6 different dice type or face values. There's, first off, move your ship, move a ship. You have 2 to start, and you can get up to 4. You can move your ships, or is it move a ship or move your ships? There will be a line saying whether it is a ship or multiple ships. You can either jump into orbit, you can move from one planet to another. If you're already in orbit, you can move out of there if you realize you're not going to win that one. Then there's the culture and the energy, which give you culture, or energy, depending on how many of those planet types that you are on out in front of the board. You gain those resources and go up on those tracks. The economic and diplomatic, on the orbit tracks, each one has a type that it is. For each one of those you slot in, you are going to move up one on that track of your choice, of whichever it was rolled. If it's economics, if you're on an economic planet, you can move up one there. And then you have the colonized one, which is you can either go up in your empire level, spending resources to go up, or you can choose to use your, if you've already colonized planets, they'll be in front of you. You can use one of those special abilities down there that you can use. Now, the fun part about, and then you play to 21. The fun part about the dice resolution phase is there's a follow mechanic. So if I put in an energy, if I put in a move ship, everybody else can follow me, but they got to pay one culture, and it goes in clock or turn order after you. They have to pay the culture, but it's a way to get extra moves when it's not your turn and keep advancing, keeping pace with even the leaders, as long as you have the resources to do that. When you do energy or culture rolls, everybody gets paid. Play to 21. I do really like this one. It has a very good clean mechanic and UI system that I actually enjoy a lot. This is one of the better tiny epics in the series, which he's put out basically one a year since he started. That's all for Tiny Epic Galaxies. Moving on to the next one in the list, which I was surprised by the published data on, is Small Star Empires. This was published in 2016, designed by Milan Tesavesky and Arcona Games. It plays 1 to 4 in the regular box, but there is the expansion that will let you go 1 to 6, which I have. This is primarily an area control and super simple, very nice. Each player is given all the pieces of their color. Depending on the number of players, you're going to have different numbers of the ships that you use, different numbers of the cities and trade stations that you use as well. And then if you're playing the solo campaign, it has different specifications that it will tell you in that campaign book. The board is made up of hexagonal dots that are interlocking, or pieces that are interlocking. You're going to set that up. You're going to put your home systems around the edges, and you're going to start from your home system. The main thing you do is on your turn, you choose one of your ships, you fly it in a straight line, and you stop it where you want to stop it. The other restriction on the movement is you cannot move through another player's territory. So if you're trying to move in a straight line and then it's an enemy or opponent's city down or trade station down, that stops you from going any further. Now, there is a variant that allows you to move through there, but you got to give up one of your stations to get into that space. Once you're done moving, you're going to put down a city or a trade station. Play continues until no ships can move to a viable spot because they're all blocked in, or you run out of pieces to place. At that point, if you run out of pieces, play continues until everybody's stopped. The end scoring, and this is where it becomes big, is there are nebulas, 3 of 3 different colors, where if you have one of them, you get 2 points, 2, 5, 3, 8 points, respectively. If each system that is out there has either 1, 2, or 3 planets around it, shown by a little circle with planet on it, each planet is worth 1 point, so it would be 1 to 3 points for each system that you settle. And then trade stations are 1 point for each opponent touching your hex. So it could be up to 6 points for that one. But that is the long and short of how you play Small Star Empires. It is fabulous. It is wonderful. If you're looking for a very easy game that's going to make your brain work a little bit, it's a great puzzle for that. And last on the list is the newest game, which got me thinking about this one, and that is Microcosmos, published in 2023. Kamil Langi and Michael Jagodzinski. I'm terribly sorry. That's Polish. I'm not sure what the JA does, but I got it close. I've learned a few Polish names in the past, and they all get very confusing very quickly. This is published by Thisroy Games. It's for 1 to 4 players, and it is primarily a resource management game. As a player, you're going to get your player pieces, all of the same color. You're going to get your ship, your cargo hold, and your race. Now, all three of those sit in front of you. The cargo hold obviously has your resources on it. Your ship is upgradable, and your race will tell you scores for different things and stuff like that. It's very sleek and well played, put together system, which I really appreciate about this game. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to lay out the 4 starter planets, and then you're going to be able to explore out further into a 9x9 grid as the game goes on. On a player's turn, you're going to upgrade your ship if you want to, so you spend your resources and get the upgrade that allows you to do more things throughout the game, like an extra action on a planet, things of that nature. You're going to move around the system, which you do have to do. You're going to take crew cards that are in your hand and load them onto your cargo hold. That was actually this game has some very fun, unique mechanics in the cargo hold, because when you play a card, you can play it either top or bottom of your cargo hold. If you play it on the top, you only get to use it once. If you play it on the bottom, once you use it on the bottom, it either goes to the top. If there's no room up there, then it gets discarded. And you can also only use those cards by the side touching. Each side has either like red, gray, blue, or green, or purple. And you get certain abilities when you're at those spaces using those crew cards. It is a really unique thing, and it takes just a second to get used to, but once you do, you can open up and do a lot of different stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to do on a turn. Do one of the actions while you are there, which is either gather resources, terraform the planet, settle it, look for survivors, because this game is set in a post-apocalyptic intergalactic space. The terraforming VPs is the other really interesting part of this. Each planet has a certain level resources that it needs, which is technology, actual materials, plant life, or people resources. And when you terraform, you're going to add from your cargo hold, take those resources, put them on there, and then your marker is going to go up the track towards the terraforming. Once all those resources are given, you look at that track, wherever you're at on that track, you get that many victory points. If you've contributed the most to that planet, you get 3 extra victory points. The second gets 1 extra victory point. It was a very unique concept of getting a lot of aggregate points when you didn't realize it, because basically every resource given is a point. So the more you put into a planet, the more you get, and you don't necessarily want to give the opponent 10 points by just letting them settle a planet by themselves. So you're going to get in there and mesh it up too, hopefully. The game ends when 3 planets have been transformed. And that is really all there is for Microcosmos. Each game has its good parts and its bad parts. Tiny Epic Galaxies has a great push and pull mechanic, because while you're trying to get all the stuff done with your dice that you need to, you also have to consider that your opponents can follow unless they're out of culture. So even though you're getting stuff done, they're going to be able to get stuff done as well. Tiny Epic Galaxy also offers probably the most strategic depth in the game just right out of the box, with that whole push and pull and having to figure out what you're doing, and the dice rolls that can get very unforgiving at the same time. Small Star Empires is extremely straightforward, but it has a very good puzzly aspect with it that also has some great take that moments as you're cutting people off and trying to create the biggest territory you can for those resources. They also have a ton of expansion content that bring this more into a very lightweight, simple 4X game as well. I have almost all the content for this. I'm missing 2 expansions, which is the Black Supernova Black Hole expansion, and the 2-pack of Civilizations of humans and another alien one. Microcosmos is probably the most complex of all the games, but it feels very intuitive once you get a feel for how the turn order goes, especially with its very unique crew play with the cards of having the top and the bottom and how you cycle them through and get the extra from them. It does a lot of good work with those very unique mechanics that I have found in Microcosmos. What games do you have that are, if I didn't mention them, that are small boxes, that are sci-fi adventure, not necessarily in the same vein, but that interest you and have the kind of that same feel of that good exploration while keeping a very small box profile? Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. All right, bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.